What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of you for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. I think we're on episode 6.
Yeah.
And yeah, with me as always, I have Blue Space.
Yeah. So after a month of waiting, we finally move into the Shibuya incident. Uh, and plus, we're finally moving on with the story, which, uh, like all the other stories we've seen since then, was of course the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero prequel movie, and what was it, the Hidden Inventory arc. Ever since the season started.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, I guess really the reason for that is more so, I guess, build up for this particular arc because I'm assuming that, well, I mean, of course, with the Hidden Inventory arc, is sort of just giving more information on, well, more context to Gojo and Geto's relationship, which, yeah, of course, as we know, he's one of the main villains in the series. And in this arc, I suppose that he's going to be, one of the, of course, a major threat. So it really adds more, it would be more impactful, I would assume, when they do confront each other in this arc.
Yeah.
And also, potentially, I guess, I'm not exactly sure, but I guess Yuta could show up in this arc as well. So, I mean, and the movie sort of tells us who he is. But yeah, it is kind of weird, sort of, we've only, the last time we've seen the main cast of characters was season 1, and then after that it's just the Yuta story as well as Gojo and Geto's plot from the past as well. So it is kind of weird, finally getting back to that after, I mean, yeah, it does feel even longer because we've had those, movies and well, the movie and the, I guess you'd say, sort of the first part of season 2 about other characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's already it's been over 2 years since we've seen the original trio. Yeah, so after the, of course, like I said, this takes place finally taking place after the events of season 1. So we get a meeting between Aoi Todo and Mei suggesting to the Jujutsu higher ups that Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, Maki, and Panda are to be promoted to the first grade Jujutsu sorcerers. Of course, they show this interesting surprisingly well animated sequence with Aoi and Mimi playing ping pong against each other. With Toto, of course, anticipating that he could work with Yuji again, because we seen how close they were by the end of season 1. But of course, he's disappointed to learn from Mei that he won't be able to team up with Yuji for the upcoming missions for him to be promoted to first grade.
Yeah. I mean, if the new opening is anything to go by, it looks like they would probably be working together anyway. But I mean, openings can be misleading, so I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of that, like in terms of certain characters we've seen in openings, or only for them to get killed off soon afterwards. So it's not. So yeah, it's a little bit deceptive at several points. But
speaking of which, yeah. So of course, we have both the new opening and new ending. Just I guess because now we're in a different arc, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, the new opening, I feel like I like the song, but I don't like it as much as Kitani's Where Our Blue Is, I think it was, from the first opening. King Nu comes back to do it, who did music for the movie. And I like I don't know, I almost feel like I like the visuals a little bit better. It's weird because I was getting a lot of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War vibes from the way they handled the visuals in the opening, because of a lot of there's a lot of use of environmental lighting like you see in the new 1,000-Year Blood War arc that I noticed.
It's showcasing a lot of blood red environments in this opening. So it could, I don't know, I think it could imply that this is that New York is gonna be the darkest of the season or the series so far.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it could mean that, and also apparently people said that this, I guess, in the series, it takes place in October, which might have something to do with it as well.
Yeah, and of course this Shibuya incident arc is literally going to span the remainder of the season. So it's like going to
Yeah.
last from episodes 6 to 24 or 25 or a little more than that. I can't remember how many episodes it
Yeah,
was.
it's gonna be 18 episodes.
Yeah. So soon after the meeting between Aoi and Mei, the first half of this episode is of course it's almost kind of like a slice of life scene, with the original trio, and pretty much like with Yuji and Nobara discussing like what they want to do for the day, and Yuji suggests that they go to the movies and watch like this weird movie about this like worm dude or something like that. I don't know. It's a,
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah. Apparently, it was a horror romance movie about the this worm creature that falls in love with a woman, and it's some kind of forbidden love, I guess.
yeah, it's
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know Yuji's taste in movies, but yeah, but no more Nobara like blows him off and goes off on her own, and she's approached by one of Yuji's old classmates. Was it Yuko Ozawa, who originally was like a short statured, obese girl. All of a sudden, like she's like, you know, very thinned out, and a little bit taller than what she was before. And she
yeah, I
explained,
mean, she looks completely different.
yeah, and like she explains to Navarro that like not only that she's an old classmate of Yuji's, but she also has a crush on him. So both Navarro, uh, Navarro and her, I guess like go on discuss about what Yuji is like, and Yuko asks Navarro, she's like if Navarro like has any feelings for Yuji, and Navarro just says like straight up says no, but like what's funny is like she has this weird feeling like she like her heart skipped a beat or something like that.
Well, she also says that she wants to be the one to get a boyfriend before Yuji gets into a relationship with somebody. So I guess it's sort of some kind of competition for her in a way.
Yeah. So eventually like they go out, and I think what was it? Megumi also gets into the conversation to discuss about Yuko and Yuji, and of course Yuji is immediately arrives soon after that, and Yuji immediately recognizes Yuko despite her massive change in appearance. But
Yeah.
Yuko, of course, it, for whatever reason, decides not to confess her feelings uh, towards uh, towards Yuji, and of course, they just immediately just part ways afterwards. I mean, it's weird that that they just kind of leave things off like that, and they just and the first half of of this episode just ends with uh, Yuji still like once again like attempting to invite Nobara, and of course inviting Megami to the movies to watch that movie that he was suggesting.
Yeah. But instead, Yuji, I guess, gets roped into going like shopping with Nobara and carrying her bags.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's yeah. The first half of the episode kind of ends in a weird way with just how I don't know,
It it did seem like a really random sequence to sort of start things off with, in my opinion, just kind of showing this girl that Yuji used to know and her like introducing herself and trying to um, see if Yuji wants to date her or something. I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe it could have some relevance later, but it seemed very like it just seemed very out of nowhere. And how they began, like I guess started the arc.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if like Yuko is gonna play some kind of role later, but it's just, I mean, there has to be a reason why she just shows up out of nowhere like this. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
like I said, unfortunately, like it did, like the meeting. I don't know. It's like Yuko and Yuji just go their separate ways without even like not even sparking a conversation at least once ever since they
It
first saw each other.
I just it felt like we really got nothing out of that except just her, just finding out that she was somebody that Yuji used to be acquainted with, and but she doesn't really end up doing what she went there to do. So yeah, I don't know. I was sort of scratching my head at that. I mean, it was a funny sequence, but maybe that's all it was there for, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, so shortly afterwards, the trio end up meeting with Utahime to discuss the mole within Jujutsu High, who's been working with Gedo. So she narrows it down to Mekamaru, who is of course like this wooden this wooden doll like figure, and they go confront the where like Mekamaru's real body is, only to find it
Mhm.
abandoned. Pretty much confirming that that Mekamaru is the mole. At the same time, we find out that Mekamaru's real body is off in a different location, where he meets up with both Gedo and Mahito.
Yeah. Yeah. So I forget exactly. Like they confront him. I guess they want to get rid of him now because like maybe he's become inconvenient or something. Uh, or he's maybe served his usefulness.
Yeah,
Um, but
but
yeah, like
not before Mahito decides to use his like transfiguration to repair Mekamaru's body. Um,
uh,
of course, due to like Gedo and Mahito wanting to take him out, Mekamaru decides to take with his new regenerated body decides to take it upon himself to fight these two. Well, just actually mainly fight Mahito.
yeah. Well, also we find out that apparently he has like a mech that he's been hiding away. Um, that he's going to use to fight Mahito.
Yeah, he calls it like Ultra Mekamaru. It's
I don't know when he found the time to create to create a mech or the resources, but yeah, I guess he has a fully functional mech just hidden away.
I mean, Utahime mentions that this guy can control a puppet like throughout the entirety of Japan, no matter where he is. So, I mean, it makes sense
Uh,
that it's possible that he might have hidden that gigantic mech thing somewhere. But yeah, he's the guy who uses this giant mech with the intention to of killing Mahito. Um, but of course, the episode ends off on a cliffhanger before we see what the resolution is.
yeah. Um, it was an okay episode. It was mostly just I felt like the first part of it was like I liked it. It was funny, but it was also kind of weird because it felt like it didn't really have much of anything to do with what the main plot's going to be. And it didn't feel like we really got into things until like the second half of the episode when they talk about the mole and Mekamaru and reintroducing Geto and Mahito.
It's just, I mean, I did like the second half. Just the first half, like I said,
Yeah.
it just seems weird that like they introduce us to. You could say it's a new character who's acquainted with Yuji, but there was no payoff by after their you could say their reunion. Like they just met each other and then they don't strike a conversation and they just go their separate ways soon afterwards without Yuko making any kind of confession to him.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed weird because that was what she really seemed determined to do, and then she decided to just leave without really doing anything. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was an okay episode. I think the main takeaways is the new opening and ending were pretty good. Um, and I mean, it does seem like the second half really, in my opinion, was a lot better just because it sort of, there was sort of, it kind of picked up where we left off a little bit from what the events of season one. And I think the ball was something they might have, I think if I remember correctly, they might have gone over in season one because of the Mahito's group or Geto's group sort of invading Jujutsu High, like how they were able to get in and all that. So it was it was sort of following up on that, and I guess it leads into the Shibuya incident.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they finally addressed the whole mole thing. Literally at
Yeah.
the start of this, you could say it's the first start of the continuation from season one. But yeah, I just felt like kind of I don't know, it kind of felt like off balance, with the first two, with the first and second half of this episode.
Yeah, mostly because we have like a slice of life segment that seems kind of honestly like out of place considering what is most likely about to happen, and then we finally get sort of following up on the main plot in the second half of the episode. So it is just kind of weird how it was sort of set up like that. But I mean, I'm sure it's probably that way in the manga too, if I could assume. But yeah, so but I don't really have too much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, I'm finally glad that they're finally moving forward with the main storyline ever since like season 1 ended like 2 years ago. I mean, like I said earlier, we've been a lot of the Jujutsu Kaisen content we've been getting are mostly just prequel storylines with Zero
Yeah.
and of course the hidden inventory arc.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that all being said, guys, until next time, we will see you all later.